Emotional damage. You can't handle the truth.
You can't handle the truth. Sideways action. That's what we have for Bitcoin today, guys. Welcome to the morning market report. We had some PCE data come in this morning. We had some labor market data come in this morning. That would be your payrolls and spending incomes and spending. Not good data, guys, at all. Actually ran all the aggregate to do an analysis on that info, and guess what? It means signs of stagflation, which we've talked about several times here on the show. But we're going to look at what's going on with price right now. A little bit of a mixed day here. Jumping over to the hourly, you can see quite a bit of green here. Some things are down. Overall, though, really, it's just flat, man. We're sitting right in the $107,000 range still. I feel like it's Groundhog Day. Hence why there's a groundhog holding a Bitcoin on the thumbnail. Guys, we're going to break all this data down. Take a look at the markets. Take a look at the charts. See where this this sideways chop range may break, where we can actually get some price movement and start making some money again, get some trade setups going. Guys, let's do all that and a whole lot more right here this morning on the Morning Market Report. It's Friday. Let's go. You guys know what time it is, don't you? Right? Take your seats. Take a seat. Get out a notebook. Class is in session. Let's get it. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I am Army Piper, and you are watching the Piper Academy Network. Let's go ahead and get my co-host up here, the man, the myth, the legend, the OC guy. What's up, OC? How you doing? Mexican Superman in the house. How you doing, man?
Thank you. Not much. Just standing by. I mean, Bitcoin is just kind of like in the middle on something. It's just not moving really. Although when we start looking at the daily and zooming out, it kind of like it gives you double top vibes. I don't know.
It's got that nice rounded. It's nice and rounded. Yeah. Buck knows all about that rounding. Let's talk about who all is in the chat here. See, we're getting the weird names here also on ours. Alex O had this problem on the YouTube names. Like it's doing the weird full names, not the narrative names, like Wick's wife. Is not Wick's wife fine 89. She's just Wick's wife. So it's kind of weird. Good morning to everyone. I see CJ Taylor, my brother in here. Clyde, what's up, bro? How you doing? Dylan VA, Alexander G, the mod queen, Little Fish, Joe Watkins. I'm going to take Joe Watkins is average crypto Joe. I'm thinking maybe. And then we got for current here. We got Baba Yaz in the house with us. Daniel Barnes, salute to you, bro. And then who else? Buck Buchanan. Look, his whole name is out there now for the whole world to see. He said yesterday I put all of his info out that it was his birthday, and now here he is. Lucko for crypto. I believe that is line of sight on crypto. Yeah, it's weird names being pushed across YouTube today. We mess up, they take away our monetization. If they mess up, we deal with it. So fly with me too. What's up? Good morning to you. Appreciate you being here. Yep. That's what he said. Yep. Oh, and I see Eric Ballin Wallen, aka ERC Devious up there. So appreciate you being here, man. Buck. Oh Lord, I want to repeat that. We're just gonna ignore that comment. But you ain't wrong, bro. You ain't wrong. All right, OC. So you're speaking of waiting, just sitting waiting. I've been waiting on my TV for a while. I now have the 65-inch that was in my living room over here, showing me the beauty of CNBC, so I can watch all the market updates there. Today, my TV gets here. I finally get my TV here today. 85-inch Samsung frame Pro. So no cables, no wires, it's all wireless. It's amazing. So can't wait to get that here. It's going to be installed today. So I don't know. I have to keep watching my chat over here. But enough about my TV. Let's talk about the economy, okay? Let's jump over into the news, break all this stuff down for you guys. I need to get my get my screen adjusted over here so we can do that. There we go. All right, guys, let's jump over to the news. We'll be right back. Actually, no, OC, I want you to talk about Bitcoin. Then we'll go into the news. Then we'll come back and talk about what does this mean for Bitcoin. Let's go over to your chart first. We're trying to keep this setup going here. What do you got for us, OC?
Absolutely. So everything is bad as you expected. Not just kidding, of course. But this is looking a little bit toppy. This is what I was talking about today in the morning. Kind of like if we are on a daily, and if we kind of like zoom out as much as we can, it gives you that double tap or a double top vibes, right? But don't let it deceive you. This is bearish, so but we're still holding on strongly, right? So we also can see that despite this could be giving you double top vibes, it could also be giving you bullish structure vibes. So I mean, two things are playing out the same thing. Could we be onto a rounded top? Could we be into a flag? Only time will tell. But so far, it seems like we're going for the support as we have. And if you're not following, this is our substitution for our dynamic reactor. But it seems like we're going for a dynamic reactor support or a SMA combo support right here as time goes by. And well, then we're bouncing off of it. Something interesting is that we have a perfect support. This is not new. Piper show you where we bounce exactly from this point, and we are trying to make a breakout out of this flag. Could we maybe do that? Hopefully we can. In fact, what I'll be looking for in here is going to be either a higher low, something like that, or a double bottom like this, right? Or some topping or ready to break out pattern. Usually on these flags, what I see, it is just slightly retracement to the center of that channel. And I know this is not a really good center, but to the center of the channel, and then breakout retest, and we go. So hopefully we are on that same exact movement. Maybe this retracement is not that bad. I mean, somewhere around 100. Who wouldn't like to get back at 100K for one last little chance to buy Bitcoin? Sure, I would. And then off we go. So this is exactly what I'm expecting. So far, a little bit of that retracement to create a higher low, and finally a breakout. Because I mean, just by measured moves, we could be talking about 131K ish areas in here. Again, not trying to give you some hopium, but it is a possibility. So throwing it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. Yeah, let's look at the chat here real fast before we jump into the news. Average Crypto Joe said, I think with the tariffs, members in place, people can start to plan ahead, and it will likely put some stability in the market. I think we're going up. I agree. I actually think that because right now S&P and NASDAQ, I'm watching breaking news over here, they are both poised right now to set a new all-time high. I think that we go into price discovery on several things, and that creates this FOMO euphoria that puts us into this just massive market run. I don't know how high it's going to go. I got some levels that I'll talk about here in a moment. But Kyle Fields, shout out to you also. He said that looked like a cup and handle on your chart there. So interesting. Mike Play, what's up, bro? How you doing, man? Veritech, I see you, Bill. I appreciate you being here, man. All right. Let's go and let's jump into the news, OC, and we'll come back and talk about some of those Bitcoin levels. Right now, we got the crypto market cap total sitting right at $3.266 trillion, trending at 3.981 trending. That's the average mean value of that. And based on all of that info, we are currently about just a little bit below 18% undervalued right now, 17.94. Looking at the crypto, the Bitcoin current risk levels, we're at 54.3% for our DCA people. That is part of the Piper plan. And then Bitcoin dominance sitting right now at 70.41 when you remove them staples, put them stables back in, and that's 65.16. So with stable coins right now, 65% dominance. That's what you should be seeing on your total for Bitcoin dominance right now on charts. So jumping into liquidations, guys, we got in the past 24 hours, 71,528 traders were liquidated. Total liquidations came in at $172.8 million. Largest single liquidation order was on Ethereum, FE. That's what this person's saying after they lost $2.82 million. looking at our crypto bubbles, getting our current price levels, Bitcoin just in the $107,000 range. Shout out to Alex O Crypto, by the way. He was sitting in a long and it just was not moving. I was like, bro, it may not move. This may volatility, the VIX index is sitting right now at like 16. I'll show you that in a second. So anything under 17 is slow and low. It ain't moving that quick. So right now, not a good time to trade, in my opinion, because you're just going to pay fees and price isn't going anywhere. So I'm still looking for lower prices personally. Frank the Tank says, I think it's possible. I mean, we can always get pullbacks, but if the NASDAQ and the S&P do break new all-time highs, which it looks like they're getting ready to, I would say that we could probably have a little euphoria run. So don't be surprised. Ethereum sitting flat on the day, guys, 2,434 Groundhog Day, like I said. XRP down about 1.5%. Solana's up just slightly at 0.7. BNB up slightly at just 0.5% on the daily. Cardano's up 0.2%. Hyperliquid down 1%. It's just flat. Man, I've not seen the markets this flat in a while. SWI is up 2.9% today, sitting at $2.70. Any decent movers today? BitGet token. That's the stable token on the BitGet exchange. Their native token, I should say. It's sitting at 4.8%. Yeah. Guys, there's really nothing here. Aptos made a move, 7.1% to the upside. Look at that. I mean, that's their big mover today, really. SCI up 12.1. It's now at the number 50 spot. It has moved up 8 spots while everything else is sitting static. So that is your Bitcoin bubbles today. I just got a new Fear and Greed. I just saw that come in a little while ago. So let's put that into the mix. Let's jump over here and let's remove the old one. There we go. Updated Bitcoin Fear and Greed right now is sitting at 65. We're in greed still. I think yesterday was at 65 also, honestly. Breaking. We got this data this morning. PCE inflation, the Fed's preferred inflation measure, rises to 2.3 in line with expectations of 2.3. Core PCE inflation, though, rose to 2.7 above the expectation of 2.6. PCE inflation is now rising for the first time since February 2025. The Fed pause will continue, according to the Kabisi letter. And there you go. Jay Powell, still what he thinks about your rate cut in July. So looking over here at the TradFi side, let's give this a refresh, make sure we got the most recent data. Looking at the Dow Jones this morning, up 0.7%. The S&P up about 0.6, and the NASDAQ is up 0.65. Russell 2K up just slightly under 2%, 0.2%, I should say. All those markets are up. And there's that VIX that I was talking about. You can put this on your chart. It's the VIX, the volatility index. It's below 17, guys. That means slow and low. It's on simmer. It's what can it do after that? Probably a big rush move that's going to fake everyone out, upside, downside, take off, right? But right now we're looking at that VIX just sitting flat. You can see the European markets were all green overnight. Asian markets mostly red overnight. We did have the Nifty 50, which is your India, and then the K, that's Japan. They were in the green, but overall Asia was red overnight. The 10-year Treasury yield continuing back up again. It's at 4.263, just slightly up 1/100% there. And overall, guys, I should say 1/100 there. Overall, the 10-year Treasury yield 3.7 to 4.36. That's pretty much been the range that it's going to stay in, and I believe that to be so, despite the fact that it really does need to come down so we can refi some stuff. NASDAQ 100 hits record high. Guys, I just came in on the news here on CNBC, so there you go. Oil is sitting up about $65 below that $70 mark, still down, but making a return to the upside today, restabilizing after all of that turmoil in the Middle East. And gold, guys, we have a trade deal officially with China. China has released their data. That means that the tariff scare, the uncertainty of what's going to happen with China, now kind of simmering down, settling down, and moving out of the picture. Gold is seeing some more sell-off, down 1.82 today. Silver sitting just below $36. Copper, platinum, and palladium all to the downside today. Let's go check out the economic calendar. Let's talk about this data that came in this morning. So core PCE was supposed to come in this morning, expected to be flat. We talked about this all week, 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, right? Came in at 0.2. double of what it was expected to be. So that is the number one factor that they look at for the Federal Reserve. Core PCE index in the U.S., which excludes volatile and energy prices, is the Federal Reserve's chosen gauge for underlying inflation in the economy. It went up 0.2% for the previous month. This result was above the market expectation. From the previous year, the index rose by 2.7%, above what it was expected to be, up 2.6% on year over year. So if you go down here and we take a look, U.S. core PCE prices rise more than expected. I have an article on this. Let's go check out that article, and then we'll talk about the other numbers. So core inflation rate rose to 2.7% in May, more than expected. Let's go down here and see what they're saying. The personal consumption expenditures price index, primary inflation reading, rose seasonally 1.1% for the month, putting the annual inflation rate at 2.3%. Excluding food and energy, core PCE posted respective readings of 0.2%. Markets showed little reaction to the data, with stock future markets indicating a positive open. The report comes with the Fed contemplating its next move on interest rate. Trump has been pushing the Fed to ease rates, insisting that inflation is low and that the Fed can always switch gears if price starts to move higher again. Jerome Powell, though, has advocated for a more cautious report. Despite increasingly aggressive pressure from the president, Trump has been criticizing Powell on a regular basis lately. So I want to talk about this data and why I think that Trump's plan on that is a horrible, horrible idea. First of all, let's take a look here at the personal income that's coming in. Was at 0.7%. This is actually a revision. It was 0.8. They moved it down to 0.7, which means that, hey, we miscalculated this and called it better than what it was before. Now here's what it really is, right? They came in on the back of the room and just slid it on the desk in the back. Didn't tell anybody in class, right? Consensus was that it would be 0.3 to 0.4. Came in negative 0.4, guys. And then also personal spending, big slowdown there. People are buying less, things cost more, and income, people are not making as much money, whether it be through layoffs, jobs, cuts, whatever, right? Lowering of hours, so on and so forth. This is called stagflation. It is. If it was just deflation, it would just be people slowing down on buying things. But we're seeing the inflation rise up at the same time, meaning people are buying less, people have less money to buy, things are getting more expensive. That is a combination. It's called stagflation, and that is the narrative word for today. So class, write that down in your notebooks. Stagflation, it may be on the test. That's what we're seeing there on that data, guys. The likelihood of a July rate cut now, based on this new data coming in, looking at a 79.3% chance of no rate cut, only a 20% chance of easing in July. I think the most likely chance that we get is going to be September, and that's a 91% chance of a rate cut. Let's look at the levels of the heat map here on Bitcoin, guys. Currently, we do have a heat level, liquidation heat zone sitting right above us at 108,280. But if you look below us, we have this like steady $100 to $200 million per level, all the way down to about 103. I would not be surprised to see that clean up, hit all these fair value gaps that are sitting right here before a bounce back up to grab that liquidity. It's close. It's really low hanging fruit for it. So that would be the price action to watch there. And then let's talk about this range that it's been in. I'll jump over here with OC on the chart with me, and let's talk about this OC, because this is the latest insights from Glassnode. I try to bring these things to you as they come out each week. And this week, what they talk about? A compressed range, okay? So headline volatility defines recent moves. Bitcoin briefly dropped to $99,000 amid geopolitical tensions, and then it rebounded to 106 after headlines of that de-escalation started to circulate. Price remains in the range of 100,000 to 110,000, where it has consolidated since early May. There is strong structural support between 93K and 100K. The CBD heat map shows concentrated accumulation in the zone, which is what we just showed you. And would not be surprised to see sweeps down into that zone just to grab that liquidity down there. Profitability and activity metrics are cooling down. Realized profit is tapering off from the third major wave of the cycle. On-chain transfer volume dropped to approximately 32%, and spot volume remains low at $7.7 billion, reflecting reduced investor engagement. People aren't buying as much right now, so the futures market is still active with lower conviction. Despite high trading volume, open interest dropped 7%, and the liquidations have surged on both sides. Falling funding rates and $3 million basis or 3M basis shows declining appetite for long biased exposure. So people are just like, I don't know, is this the time to buy more Bitcoin and HODL or not? I'm not sure. Momentum is fading, but risks are balanced. The market is in a holding pattern. And that's why we're seeing this price just trade in this range that we're talking about. Structure remains supportive. A breakout to new highs will likely require a clear pickup in demand activity and conviction, aka momentum, aka volume, right? We need to see that happen in order to do it. And then the headline whiplash, of course, Bitcoin dropped to $99,000 over the weekend. Last weekend, as geopolitical tensions flared, the market has now returned to its familiar 100K to 110K, where it has been consolidating since May 8th. Guys, we're closing in on almost 2 months. But the people that are buying, let's talk about them. Bitcoin's long-term holders stack 800,000 Bitcoin per month in a record HODL run. DCA is the way. Piper playing all day long. We're buying more the deeper it goes. We multiply our DCA, right? No, stagflation is not 2 quarters of negative. That would be a recession. Stagflation is when you have weakening purchase ability. People are losing jobs or people are making less money, which we have right now. And inflation, things are getting more expensive. So when people have less money to buy and they're even if they did, it's more expensive, that's called stagflation. So, but yeah, great question. I appreciate you, Frank the Tank. So yeah, data shows that even a 750,000 Bitcoin increase has only occurred 6 times in Bitcoin's history, guys. We just hit a record 800,000 over the past 30 days. Bitcoin long-term holders are making history as they increase their Bitcoin exposure by 800,000 Bitcoin per month. Long-term holders offer key signals, okay? Those hodlers, those LTHs, entities holding coins for at least 6 months without selling, have doubled down on their commitment despite Bitcoin price hitting new all-time highs in 2025. Analyzing this LTH, this long-term holder supply change, CryptoQuant said that on a rolling 30-day basis, the supply had increased a new record of 800,000 Bitcoin over Bitcoin's history. 30-day LTH supply increases have only surpassed that 6 times. We've already read that. It was up above. Let me get rid of this. Come here, you. Go away. Thanks. Recent buyers need $93,000 to hold. That's the level we just talked about on the glass node. That's why I linked these together. A little open source here. Open source analysis for you guys. As Cointelegraph continues to report, the opposite end of the Bitcoin investor spectrum, short-term holders, that's people that have been holding it for less than 6 months, also play an important role in the bull markets. Currently, STHs corresponding to speculators holding for 6 months or less have their aggregate cost basis at just below $100,000. That level often acts as support during market corrections, with this week's retracement to 98,000 being no different. Analyzing support composition this week in on-chain analytics from the firm Glassnode warned that the area between $98,000 to $93,000 will be crucial to hold. So putting that together, we have a lot of people accumulating. We have this range of support and that $93,000 being a key level. I want to go ahead and jump over to my chart and talk about this level, because that $92,000 to $93,000 level is a pretty key level when you take a look here and go, okay, well, it would make sense to go down there. Why is that? Because we have a CME gap that comes in down below us. This is not the gap you're looking for. There we go. We got one there that was closed out on 23 June. And let's go down to the 92,000. There we go. We got one sitting at about 92.5 to 91,725. I would not be surprised to see price come down to that critical $93,000 range and then liquidity sweep all of this stuff into that zone, shake a lot of people out. They get scared when it breaks that $93,000 range, but it bounces in our CME gap, possibly coming in right on line with our quantum reactor from Chart Prime, okay? So it does make sense to see price will go down to that level. And it is something worth noting that that is a short-term holders level of buying is that $93,000 range, 98 to 93,000. Breaking that would probably scare some of those people out. Let's take a look at the daily and what we're seeing here on the daily oscillators. We are coming back down towards our 50-day simple moving average. That's going to be right there coming in at about 105,870. But if you take a look here, 98,000, guys, that's that top level that they said needed to hold. That's our quantum reactor, dynamic reactor. 100 days going to be moving into that zone soon. And then you get down to about 96. That's your 200-day simple moving average. There's a massive, massive cluster here of support that if it broke would trigger a lot of people to sell off and then hit that $93,000 range, close out that CME gap we just talked about, and then go back up. I think could be the play that happens. That just gets a lot of people wrecked. We can see here that the MACD normalized is giving us a strong histogram movement to the upside. Signal line is about to cross. Actually, it did just cross bullish, and it does look like we have a blue oscillator ribbon printing, but it is getting a little flat and curved here. You can see also on RSI primed, super flat top there. Flat, more of a flat top than a brand new Marine right there. Shout out to Buck. That one's for you. Little flat price action there on the RSI high Kanashi candle. That could indicate that we're about to see a topping and a downside movement. You can see that there. It happens. When you get these positions that start to level out and there's not a growth in those RSI Heikin-Ashi candles, it can indicate a possible drop. So if we don't get a move today, guys, don't be surprised if this thing starts to round out with little short candles here and then comes back down. Keep in mind, does not necessarily mean that price has to come down. It just means a cool off of the RSI. So that's what I'm seeing there on the daily here for the daily oscillators. If we want to talk about those levels of price action that I think we could be in, guys, we're still sitting above the 103,552 right now. We did dip below it at one point, but on the weekly, we're looking at a bearish divergence that has played out a little bit from top to bottom here on these levels. It was a small pullback. Let's see here. Nope, not you, sir. Let's go there and let's get that line on. Why are you not doing it? There we go. There we go. Perfect. Let's bring that. No, it still don't do it. There it is. All right. So we're looking at about a 12% pullback that we had from top to bottom there on those levels. But the thing that I'm watching for upside movement is going to be right here. It's going to be this $117,000 range. That's going to be your 0.66 GAN level on which has been pretty close to tops in that golden pocket. We had one anomaly there, but I'm watching this level here. These are trend-based fibs pulled from previous cycle highs to lows, and then that pump up there into that zone was where I said, hey, this might be the top back here in January 2025. Did a pullback. Now we're just stuck back in it. I'd say 118 is the level to watch for upside movement. That $93,000, $92,000 range on the bottom side being where you watch for those pullbacks to the downside to close out the CME gap. OC, love to hear your thoughts on this. You seeing anything different? What's your take on all of this data that came out from Glassnode and Crypto Quant? There was a lot of data there, but I think it's very relevant data, especially when you're looking at, hey, will stagflation cause people to go, Bitcoin's the safer bet for me over the dollar, and let me just go make some money there instead of, since I can't buy anything and everything's up in price, I might as well buy something that's up in price and worth it. Hashtag buy Bitcoin. Your thoughts, OC?
Absolutely. So I just want to call out that we've been talking about 97, 93 areas for a long time already. Yep. And I mean, it comes to a little bit of a gratifying surprise, right? That a big name as Glassnode is just not looking, is just not just looking at the data and saying, you know what, well, whatever, right? But it's actually confirming what we have been seeing on the charts, right? They have a little bit more, let's just say, granular data to back these areas up, but the TA that we've been doing, it's been just coinciding in those zones like over and over and over. So shout out to Glassnode. Maybe they're watching the Piper Academy. So
maybe so. I mean, maybe so.
Maybe so, yeah. I mean, no panic. There's no time to panic. We just need to look at how things are developing. Remember, we just have two directions, up, down, and to the right, because I've never seen the charts going to the left. Nonetheless, whatever happens, as long as we have that volatility, I think we are prepared. Something important that you mentioned, and I would say, all right, so maybe we're buying stuff, or how holders are keep holding, but the new purchases are slowing downwards. It is like, all right, so this usually happens right after or right before the big institutions jump in. Also, how the big institutions are playing out their cards at this point. I would say that it's pretty flat in both cases, but that's why we have stop losses, right? Also, I mean, if you bought the top, what was it on 60K right now, you still be almost what is it, a 70% up from the last previous all time highs. So it's
Yep.
just a matter of time, I would say. Only who have ever lost is who have ever sold Bitcoin. That is a hard truth. And those who over leveraged. So there's nothing wrong to start to keep doing a TCA. And as we have seen, uh, whoever beat every market condition, even those ones that exactly timed the tops and bottoms, and even those that bought the very top before every major crisis, it was the TCA guy who constantly did average purchases throughout time. Important key factor, it is make sure as much as possible that you're investing, or to be invested money is still be somewhere safe that give you annualized returns, and that you invested money, if we're talking about Bitcoin, that your Bitcoin is giving you again some returns over time, which is
Yep.
basically doing. But if you do some compound savings on that, you'll be fueling that average gains over time.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Yeah.
That's what Spunky Monkey thinks. Got to pump those numbers up. Shout out to Spunky Monkey. He's from over there in the chart hackers community. We see him over there all the time. He came over to join us. Shout out to. He said it's the Boomer Trading Channel. It is. It is. I do approach crypto with the boomer mentality, but that's because those boomers they tend to have smart strategies for profits. They just don't pick the right assets. I'm in the right asset with boomer mentality. So, but to be fair, I'm not a boomer. I'm Gen X. I'm Gen X. We're the FAFO generation. So, and I have to say, OC can confirm this. Over 3.5 years, I've stayed in profit the entire time. So, no $9,000 negative P&Ls here for 30 days. I'm just saying, hashtag if you know, you know. But let's go and shout out to you, man. Appreciate you being here, Spunky Monkey. Yeah, there's a really big crypto trader out there that touts how much money he's making, and his beautiful 30-day P&L of negative $9,000 got leaked somewhere. So, yep. Yep, that's what it is. Boomers kind of know what they're doing. They do. They're smart money, man. I was born in the year of boomers, 1964. DB Cooper, we love you. You're our favorite boomer. You're Cooper Boomer. All right, OC. That is what I have on Bitcoin today and what's going on with the economy. I'm keeping all that data in line, but I do want to jump over and see some altcoin movement from you. But check this out. I did a speed test this morning on my internet because I did some tweaking on it.
Oh, nice.
Look at that download and upload, baby. Let's go. Let's go. All right, OC, what do you got for us on the charts, man?
Absolutely. So let's get started with the hashtag F Ethereum because of that beautiful liquidation. So far, it's not all said and done, but it seems like we're rejecting in these areas. Let me just make sure that I have the latest section here. Why do we have this box? This is just to measure the possible retracement for the worst case scenario, and that is somewhere around 1,728, just to measure all that pullback if we are able to go all the way down there. But in the meantime, remember, we have some hurdles to go over, which is support and resistances. So Ethereum not looking terrible, but absolutely not looking great. In fact, we have a sell signal in here. Let me just clean this up so you guys can see it much better. There we go. There is you know what? Come on, that's why F Ethereum, man. We have a sell signal here. It's not about the breakout, but the retest. Oh, love the audio, man. Especially since I see now the news. So we're just hovering around that area. I mean, not much to say other than let's hope that this holds. The best case scenario at this point will be flipping off the ribbon, right, and staying at this zone, which means that we're holding that momentum to then keep pushing to the upside, and the next targets will be previous highs. So next target will be 2,670, and then 2,789, and finally 2,000, and I will be calling 900. Does that mean that we're bullish? No, that doesn't mean that we're bullish. But if we're holding throughout the flip of the ribbon and we have the flip of the ribbon, we're going to be turning bullish. If not, prepare for retracement. And I would say if we lose the 2,396, we are on it. That's why I have an alert right down here. Let me show you. This is my alert at 2,342. So if I break, hit the alert, come back up for a retracement, this is my short entry, and off we go, TP1, TP2. So that's what I got for Ethereum. Let's take a look at Litecoin here. Litecoin, oh my goodness, look at that. We're back. We're almost in there. Yesterday we were talking about that this V-shaped recovery was almost not playing out because it was a little bit farther back behind. And I said, well, I stayed my ground. We can still do that flip or that strip of the lows. And well, why this is not, or why would this be different than Litecoin? It is because of the structure where the price action is at. This basically price action is right before the dump. So everything that we lost, we gain it back. So that talks about the strength on Litecoin. This also could be a breakout retest going for lows, and then off we go. But remember, as soon as we're bouncing up, we're moving our stop to entry. So in that case, we will have nothing to lose. So far, so good. Seems like we're going to that entry zone. Almost there, hanging out in there. Litecoin, and maybe we can do some business together. Nice. Let's take a look at BNB. BNB back again on previous areas.
Hold on, OC. Hold on before you go into that. Hold on.
All right,
ladies and gentlemen, I need to pay attention here to Lunar Beach's crypto. He needs affirmation, and he said he's going to spam the chat, which I'm all about the engagement. I love you, LBC. I just want you to know. I see you there. There you go. You get hearts. You get that, and then I did not mean to cause you any damage.
Emotional damage.
Shout out to LBC, host of the Market Tap to Dark, king of the Elliott waves. There you go. OC, back to you, man. What you got?
absolutely. So LBC, you're fantastic at catching me wearing ridiculous stuff in my head. Just want to mention that you missed the most ridiculous things so far right now, which is a blue hair stuff. So just saying, you missed your opportunity right there. Oh, just kidding, brother. I love you, my friend. All right, so going back into BNB, we should be already into a position. This is a position that we were looking into, a quarter of a position. We're still holding it. It's just doing nothing, which is at this point fine because we want to go for that flip of the ribbon. That flip of the ribbon, it's already on its way. It's not the flip of the ribbon that I want to see because it's not a violent flip of the ribbon. All right. What happens usually when we have this rounded flip of the ribbon? We fake out and then we continue down. Let me show you if I can find a rounded flip of the ribbon that does it. All right. Maybe this one, a rounded flip of the ribbon and then continue downwards. Let me see if I can find another one that is a little bit more up to it. So there we go. Kind of rounded going downwards. Well, that was a goose head. Rounded fake out and then going downwards. So I think you get the point. This is not looking fantastic. There we go. Like, for example, we can even do something like that. And that again represents going downwards And oh, this one actually played out fantastically. This one shut my mouth up, but so far not looking that great. Still positive, although our prime score is negative because that's technically we're below dynamic reactor and we're red. All right, but our consolidation score is telling us, oh yeah, it is telling us that we are about to break the consolidation. I mean, we're highly consolidating, but also about to break that consolidation. Where to? We don't know. I'm expecting to the upside, but once again, we need to wait. That's why I'm on a quarter position to the upside. I'm a little bit more bullish after the V-shaped recovery. Let's go to Link in ADA, because on Link, I'm still waiting for that not flip of the real, but that pullback. We might not have it, but we could.
I'm still waiting on a new all-time high for ADA, like from 2021. I'm just saying, $3 ADA is a myth.
Let's take a look at, I don't know, maybe I'm feeling like $300. No, just kidding.
Emotional damage.
Oh yeah, that would be what was it, 100K 2023 Bitcoin? Yeah. So be careful out there. I was expecting a breakout retest, but we're making a bull flag so far, right? The same pattern that we're looking to the rest of the coins, basically hovering while we have a flip of the ribbon. So come on, Link. I know you can hold your grounds in here. Right now, I don't think that we might have that flip of the road, that movement to the downside, maybe slightly upper movement like that. So if we go, let me see if I have some support and resistance. What am I guessing if I have my tools, right? So not really. I mean, there's not much in here. So let's see if we're able to hold this area, and I'm gonna change my opinion like this, like previous lows. If we're able to hold the 1266, 12, what was it? 66, yeah. I think we could be going for an upset. But right now, loud order block going downwards below the zero line. Oof, this is not looking juicy. In fact, what I'll do is that let's go for something like this. All right, maybe we can try to re-enter as we have maybe a little sweep of the lows in here. That will be fantastic. All right, ADA, $300 ADA. So not looking absolutely good, not at all. But we're on a loud order block, right? Exactly what I was expecting or what I'm thinking of Link. So if we're looking for a possible entry, well, then we're almost there, and that's once again because of the rounded flip of the ribbon that we're seeing. I guarantee you that we're gonna have something like that, because that is something that really happens right here on ADA. It crushes your dreams. So looking for maybe a double bottom somewhere around, I don't know, 53 cents to jump back in. And well, that will be our double bottom setup or a higher low setup to then TP at 0.6, I would say. Other than that, I think I have covered most of the basic coins. I'm just missing Sol and Sui. But what do you think? And what maybe you might have?
Yeah, I think that the alts are just going to continue to get swept under the rug by the Bitcoin dominance. That's what I think. So as of right now, not seeing a whole lot of strength and trying to catch that one altcoin that's going to set you up for generations. Right now, it's kind of like playing whack-a-mole. So that's what I think on alts. That's why I'm just focusing right now on the Piper plan and doing multiplied DCA levels, dynamic DCA over there in our Discord. So every Monday we drop that. You guys can join just by clicking join below. $5 a month. You get access to some amazing content. JR over there dropping trades constantly, OC dropping data, LBC's in there dropping stuff, Buck's in there dropping plays. There's all kinds of stuff in there for you guys to watch. And like Buck put out a great post yesterday or 2 days ago on market snapshot for Bitcoin, talking about the mining and the hash ribbons because he's really big into that world. And then OC had several trade setups that he dropped in there yesterday. LBC had some stuff that he dropped yesterday, talking about the total 3 overlaid on Coinbase chart pretty interesting. The coin was pumping yesterday. So, but of course, JR running like a 90% trade accuracy level in our Discord for $5 a month. We are the cheapest Discord around. So I'm just saying. Just saying.
I do have
Just
an
saying.
announcement.
What's your announcement?
We're getting at the end of Trading with OC. In fact, yesterday I announced that it was our
Final
last
chapter.
grand finale.
Yep, I saw that.
Final
I saw
chapter.
that.
This is going to be the last 3 classes. So today we're going to be seeing the second part of divergences, and then we're going to be talking about how the difference between profitability and win rate, right? So they're not the same. You can have a very low win rate, but still massive profitable, right?
Yep.
And we'll figure just those changes. And finally, the party of a goodbye party, of a closure party, I must say. So yeah, getting at the end of the actual course. So guys, you should be already profitable traders.
So OC, let's give, okay, we got a small audience here right now. Let's give them a little hint about what's going to happen with all those videos. What was the entire purpose of OC recording those videos? Give them a little hint.
So we have a project, right? We want to give to the community instead of creating a master course, the course that we wanted to have at the beginning, right? Because when you get started trading, you go and, hey, I'm going to take the support and resistance course, right? And they tell you, but this is not enough. No. We wanted to give you the actual what a support and resistance trader will do. So from day one, chapter 1 or 2, you're able to take trades based on the information that you got, right? And well, then instead of making them into a walled garden, we decided to make it publicly, go all out, and then create the live practices with you guys, so you can actually have a real world scenario on learning and actually trading with what you have learned. So most likely this is going to go, they're going to stay online for a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks, and then they're going to get back into a refining stage where all of this data is going to get concentrated, and we might be able to release an actual concentration course. That doesn't sound good. A concentrated course.
A concentrated education series.
That sounds
trading.
much better.
That's okay. I'll do the lingo. I'll do the lingo and marketing. You did all the videos, but yeah, that's what we're doing. We're putting together a very, very cheap education course for members. So there you go. It's if you're a member in our Discord, you're most likely going to have access to all of this stuff. Again, not $1,000, not $9,000 or whatever crazy prices people charge out there. We try to make things affordable so that you guys can have a cheap resource for education, for trade setups, for all that stuff. We're not here trying to rake you guys over the coals, shake you out for your wallet. So that is not the Academy way. So all right, guys, that is about all the time we had today. I do want to jump in and talk about Circle real fast and show what's going on with Circle today. But then we're going to head over to Crypto Princess. She's got a premiere video that just went live 3 minutes ago. So let's jump over here. Talk about Circle real fast. Guys, we did hit at that 50% fib again. We did hit that point of control coming in off of that volume node on the fixed range volume profile and have returned back down to the golden pocket, currently sitting at about 201 right now on the price. We've printed our first red candle here on the histogram. I'm expecting again to see 176 to 161 come into play. Money flows coming down. Oscillator ribbon. We are getting kind of low here, but we can go much lower on the RSI primed. I'm looking at an hourly chart here because I got to get all this data. There's not a lot of history, but I'm watching that 176 still, guys, and that's where I'm going to be looking at picking up some more circles. So, all right, guys, that is all the time we had today. Don't forget to tune in. Are you going live this afternoon, OC?
Yes. Today is going to be one of the last 3 classes. Exactly.
Okay, so tune in today to Trade Live with the OC. Also, don't forget to check out Sunday evening. for the Asian market open. Lunar Beach's crypto with markets after dark. And then Monday morning, we'll be back with BC Port Corp kicking off Good Morning Crypto. And then we'll be back at 10 a.m. Dropping the news, the headlines, the macroeconomic data, all the things that you need to have knowledge, because here at the Academy, knowledge is cheap and it's profit. So there you go, guys. We'll catch you guys later. Always have a great weekend. Spend time with your family. If you're going to trade safe. Remember, volume is low on the weekends, so the volatility can kick up and shake you out. So be very careful with the trades. Use some risk management, and check out our Discord. If you haven't joined yet, check out the join link below. $5. I guarantee you'll get $5 worth of data out of this Discord minimum. So yeah, just go check it out. Go check it out. We will catch you guys back here on Monday morning, guys. Peace, love, and profits. Talk to you later.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels flow low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, former Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Car Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline.
Boom shakalaka!
We'll keep that front line covered. Won't keep on rolling out the wheels flow low. Sound off to get with them. The ZTS
Emotional damage.
Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean? You can't handle the truth!
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
That was awesome, dude.